financing for qualifying owners. By owning a Vetraplex franchise, you will be hiring veterans, providing them both income and opportunity, while at the same time providing your customers a way to say, thank you for your service to our nation's veterans. For more information, visit vetraplex.org. Again, that's vetraplex.org or call 928-284-2022.
And you are listening to JD's Rockin' Sports. We are back. Got a new face cook in the studio today. JD is in between operations, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But JD, you've been over at the Waste Management Open yesterday and
briefly today. And I was just waiting for the rain to kind of settle down. I'm not saying I'm a wuss or anything, but we only have like a limited amount of cameras.
Right.
And when it starts raining, man, you need to protect those things with your life. So I just figured it'd be better just to throw it in the car and then see how the weather reacts and get back out there. Tomorrow's supposed to be beautiful, so I'll be out there bright and early tomorrow.
Nice.
I want to get as much coverage as possible tomorrow, but I do want to give a shout out to our photographer, Alejandro's Fat Sal Salazar, who hooked us up and helped us out with the Wounded Warrior amputee football game, which was absolutely freaking packed. There was at least between 4,000 and 5,000 people there.
Good.
Easily.
Right on.
I had a high school football field. I mean, they were so packed. The stands were packed, and then they had to let people basically sit on the sidelines.
Wow,
to be
That's
able to
good.
watch the
That's
game.
awesome.
That's good. And now
Snoop balled out.
yeah,
He
I
did.
was listening. I was listening to you guys live out there. And I could hear the crowd in the background.
Yeah.
I mean, it was almost like you guys were having to speak over them, even though you guys were mic'd up. It was loud there.
Yeah, it was loud. We were actually right next to the band, but we had a great spot. So we didn't want to move from there. But I do got to pick on Alejandro here real quick. So I go over his house this morning to pick up the camera, and he opens up the door, and he hands the camera, and this little furry rat thing comes
Marmot
walking out the front door.
Remember,
Hey.
Brent has 2 of those.
Yeah,
This is why I said marmot.
So I go, what the hell is that? Yeah, they immediately go, oh, that's not mine. That's not mine. I said, dude, you're in violation of man law. He said, no, it's not mine. I go, for real, it's not mine. And as I'm walking away, I was going to let it go. As I'm walking away, I hear him say, he's my compassion dog.
That's almost enough said right there.
Sorry, what?
My compassion dog.
He is my compassion dog.
Now I married into my 2 little marmots. Those, I mean, but
Dude, I was going to let him go with it's not mine, but as soon as he said he's my compassion dog, man card, rip it up, burn
yeah,
it.
right. You just go ahead and turn yours in.
Something.
You can apply in 2 years.
All right,
Reapply.
I can understand if you say, it's the wife's, she wanted something small. I can let you get away with it, but as soon as you say he's my compassion dog, that's it. You're done, man.
I don't
There's no
even
way
know
you
what
can
that
pull that back.
means. It just sounds bad.
It sounds bad. That's the thing. You just have this picture now of Alejandro just cuddled up with his little compassion dog. And
Look, my dog sleeps in the bed. She has to sleep under the covers, but it's a boxer. So
okay, see, boxers are different. This
Yeah.
is a mop with 4 legs.
I believe they're called Lasso Opsos.
Well, yeah, something like that. But yeah, so I can't let you go, man. I told you I was going to say something on the radio. I'm sorry, man, but you love me to death, but I can't let that one go.
Good thing he takes good pictures, though.
Yeah, right. So thanks for the camera, and yeah. So that's it. So carry on. Oh, as of Tuesday, JD's Rockin' Sports will be no longer. We are officially, or will officially be, Vets on Media Sports. We're waiting for the final logo to come out. And so we're going to use the same Facebook page. We're just going to rename it.
Same
So we can keep our
podcast
fans on there.
account, too.
Yeah. We'll see what we can do with that. But yeah, absolutely. So anyway, what's next on the agenda? This is y'all's show. I just kind of stopped in because gas station pizza is cheaper than anything they're selling out there. So
I'm sure. I'm
so
sure.
I,
Yeah.
figured I'd stop in for a snack.
Should have told me I
give
had
you
half
guys-
the streets in New York I could have brought to you.
Dude, let me tell you something, man. This was what was left over of the 3 pizzas they usually have, and it's only been an hour.
Really?
Yeah, those pizzas go quick when they bring them from Barrios.
They probably were expecting you this morning. They're like, "Where's JD?"
Where the hell is he? Yeah. So, anyhow, what's next on the agenda?
Well, Aaron, you wanted to mention something about the Pro
I
Bowl,
wanted
right?
to hijack this segment real quick. Pro Bowl, we didn't. It's not important. Team Carter beat Team Irving last week. Big deal. I had an idea, and I didn't steal this from anywhere. I just wanted to run it by and see what everyone thought. Instead of the Pro Bowl, you name the teams. You just name your Pro Bowl players. You don't have to worry about anybody showing up, not showing up. Instead of the Pro Bowl, you have the 2 conference losers play the week before, either in Hawaii or at the neutral site like we had this year.
Mhm.
Give it money or whatever. You think that something like that would be more like if you have the same thing with college football, you could have the 2 losers play each other to be like the quote unquote 3rd place game. You get a bonus. You know, you still have that one last week of football. You don't have to worry about all these guys dipping out. You can still get a bunch of people to show up, sell tickets. What would you guys think of something like that?
So then,
So like last Sunday,
Yeah.
either here or in Hawaii, you would have had Packers, Colts.
I like it. But I want to add something to that addition. I want to do the NFL skill competitions.
Yeah, and
during the week.
Right.
The quarterback challenge.
Yeah,
kicker
those are
challenge.
Challenge,
If you want to have
passes
wide
40,
receivers
whatever.
run 40s, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that they can do that they used to do.
yeah, they used to have
They
that.
don't do that stuff anymore. So, who can throw the ball in the most garbage cans or whatever. They used to have the automated targets
Yeah.
that go across the
Yeah.
field, varying lengths. Yeah, absolutely. I want to see that come back.
But I think that
Good
would be
idea.
a good way to get a game out there. That was my thought because they still want to have the game, but then you don't have to worry about 20 substitutions because guys are hurt or they just don't want to show up like Des Bryant or, whatever. I just wanted to think what you guys would think of a 3rd place game.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
And I think the fans would like it too because obviously you're giving them another football game. I don't think any football fan is going to turn down another football game in the schedule.
Right.
I mean, hell, it was a 16-game season, then we bumped it to an 18.
You mean 14
or
and then 16.
14. Yeah, so we're constantly adding games. So what? Someone's going to be upset that there's another game and it's not like a last place team. It's 2 top tier teams basically.
Yeah, and you could have one last competitive game. You still have this week with all the fan stuff that you want.
I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I just thought of
And
it
you-
and I was like, that would be an interesting idea.
And you can do the NFL All-Star strengthening competition or whatever.
Yeah,
They
And-
do bench presses.
yeah,
everything,
run like
so,
a
yeah.
combine. How
So
many
you'd still vote 'em
225
in.
bench can you do
Yeah.
in a minute?
You'd still vote them in to this competition, who you want to see go to this competition, and then they go there and they do the best.
Yeah, and they don't have to do it if they don't want to. And who cares if they dip
Because
out on a bench press contest?
There's some extremely strong players that don't get to go to the Pro Bowl because their job's to take up 2 and 3, offensive linemen.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them do something.
Yeah, like the NBA All-Star skills. A lot of the guys
Yeah.
that do the slam dunk and the 3-point, they're not necessarily all-stars.
Mhm.
They invite random guys. So I don't know, just a thought. Let's do
I
the
agree.
NFL Hall of Fame, and then Joel's going to talk some UFC. So I'll throw these names out, you guys, real quick, yes or no, and then at the end, if you got thoughts, we can just kind of summarize them real quick. Morton Anderson, kicker.
I would think he would go. I think he'll be in.
He should be.
Joel,
Yeah.
I say
Why
yes. I say yes.
Special
too.
teams is the most important part of the game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good minute.
And he's all-time points leader too.
Yeah,
Jerome Bettis.
absolutely,
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
he's got a couple rings under him.
Hmm.
I'm not sold on Jerome Bettis.
You're not really.
No, his stats aren't that great. He has the rings, but his overall stats aren't really that great. He was a good power back, but it was a limited run, and I don't know what else he did besides that. But anyway, Tim Brown.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, all around. Don Coryell, coach.
Yes. Am I the only person that knows Don Coryell?
No, I know the name.
How many wins did he have? He had like
I think he had a lot. I
Yeah.
think, but it was in that shorter. I don't know, to be honest with you, off the top of my head. I think he's in, but I can't say for 100%.
Yeah, I mean,
He's in.
I think he's similar to like Landry.
Yeah, he's in.
Terrell Davis.
yes.
I say no.
I think he'll get in.
I think he'll get in, but I don't think he'll be this year.
I think he's a no. Too short. He didn't play a lot of games. He had a couple great seasons with 2,200 yards, but that's a season. It's not a career.
I agree with Aaron on that.
I think he'll. I mean, again, I'm not saying that I want him in. I think he'll get in.
It's not the Hall of Very Good. Tony Dungy, and I say no. I think he's overrated.
Yeah, because
he's got one ring.
Yeah, but he also played as a player.
Have him listed.
That's a good career.
But I don't think he was great stat wise as a player. He played what, safety, cornerback,
defensive back. I thought.
D-back, didn't they win a championship with Philly?
I don't think they did. No, because I don't think Philly has a championship in football. Ever.
No, NFC championship.
Oh. I would say no. They have him listed as a coach, so I'm going solely off his coaching.
He's
and
got
as
a ring.
coach, he's got one. With that, all the great numbers Peyton Manning put up, he should have 3.
That doesn't matter. Look at all the great numbers Dan Marino put up. Doesn't have a ring, but Landry's in. Or not Landry, but the hell's his name? Whitey. Was that wrong? No, I can say that, right?
I think you could say honky too.
Cracker. Shula. Thank you.
No, should have said steakhouse.
No, his name's Shula.
Yeah, but he's got a steakhouse out
Samsonite.
at the Native American casino.
So, yeah, if Shula's in, I mean, Shula got a lot of his wins.
Yeah, but
because of
Shula
Marino.
also went undefeated.
That's debatable.
He went 15. What was it? 15-0? 16-0 then?
With the Super Bowl, it was 17-0.
So
I give it to him. I think he's one of the better minds, football minds.
I mean, the Tampa 2 is his, but he's only got one ring.
I think he'll get in.
Joel?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think we'll get him.
Kevin Green. No, we're not counting his time in WCW as a wrestler.
Oh, okay. See, that was he didn't actually have a ring, did he, with Carolina?
Nope.
No.
They were some really good teams though there.
Yeah, they lost to the Patriots.
I don't think he was on that team.
Yeah, he was.
He was on the original Panthers. He was an expansion draft pick, if I remember right.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like 2003.
Yeah, but he got picked and he played for the Panthers. I think he retired by then. I don't think he ever made it.
No, he went. He was part of that team. He's still pretty young, dude. He's only in his 40s right now.
I say no.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. I would like to see him because I mean he definitely laid the wood, but I don't think he'll get in.
Charles Haley, defensive end / linebacker. I say yes.
I'd say no just because I don't like him.
that works too.
No, Haley's one hell of a defensive player. I give it to him. I definitely give it to him. I'd put him over Green.
Yeah. You said yes, Joel?
Yeah, I'm saying yes.
Yeah, probably.
That's my compassion pick.
Marvin Harrison.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I say no.
Most of Manning's stats were to Harrison.
I know, but one ring.
That's it.
He does not. I don't think he's in the top 5 in stats though. Because remember his career ended
You realize
early.
there's more than 5 receivers in the Hall of Fame.
I do, but I'm thinking in this time with that quarterback, he should have had more.
But there were 2 stud receivers on that team.
Plus, he also retired really funky. You remember with the gun thing in Philadelphia, and then he was just gone.
I don't care about what he did.
But I think he was young.
He didn't carry the
I
gun
think
on
he
the
was
field.
like 35 or something when that whole thing went down, and then he was just gone.
When you talked about the Colts, you talked about Peyton Manning to Harrison. That's all you talked about.
Reggie
You
Wayne.
talk about their running game. No, Reggie Wayne was kind of just like in the shadows of Harrison. It was always Manning to Harrison. He was his favorite target. He's in.
What was that tight end guy? Dallas Clark.
He was all right. He was. I wouldn't even put Clark in right now.
Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the unanimous.
He had the same hair today that he did 20 years ago.
Perfect hair.
John Lynch. He's kind of right on the fringe. He does have good numbers, I think John Lynch does.
He's one of the hardest hidden safeties in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, and the problem with the NFL is the numbers don't really matter. You know, it's not baseball. There's not a set. You get 500 tackles, you're in the Hall of Fame.
I would put him in the same field as Terrell Davis. When he gets in, Lynch will get in.
I would agree with that. I don't think he's in this year either. Joel?
I agree. I don't think he's going to be in.
Brent?
I don't think so.
All right. Orlando Pace. This is another one I think's on the fence.
He's a big guy to have.
He was good, but it's not a skill position. Offensive tackle. There's not a lot of them in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'd give it to him. When it came to having a reliable lineman, I mean, day in and day out, it was him.
I think he gets in only because there's not a lot of them. Now it's being recognized as a position, unlike the 60s and 70s when some of those guys were great and they never got any love, you know, at that time.
I don't see Pace being in.
Joel?
No, I don't think so. Not yet.
We're split. All right, 3 left. This one's going to be unanimous. Junior Seau. Yes. Will Shields, offensive guard. I would say no. I think he's one of the veteran picks.
Probably not.
No, I don't think so.
Not this year.
Yeah.
I put Pace before him.
Yeah. I don't think you'd see 2 offensive line positions get in the same year.
I don't think the position matters. I just think it is if they deserve to be in, they'll be in.
All right, last one. This one's a real big fence one. Kurt Warner.
Yes.
I say yes too. I thought it would be more debate. A lot of people say those years he had in New York where it was so bad and his run was very small. It was only about 8 to 10 years. But I still say he's in.
Yeah, but he finally got into the league a lot older than most people get into the league.
Yeah, and he got 2 rings.
CFL. And he brought the Cardinals to the Super Bowl.
Yep, he turned a franchise
which
around.
Was almost impossible. Without Warner, the Cardinals would have not been in that Super Bowl. There's no way.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that as soon as he got hurt the following season. There was no way in hell Matt Leinart was going to take that team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, all right. I'm changing my mind on Harrison now that I see his numbers. He's in for sure. I didn't think they were that high. I know they were high. I just didn't think they were that high. All right, UFC.
Joel?
Well, the fights last week were pretty awesome, pretty spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
Rumble Johnson went into enemy territory and knocked out Alexander Gustafsson. Mm-hmm. And so now he gets he's now the number 1 contender for John Jones. And I think John Jones has a problem. a lot of people went on to Twitter, and I think it was one of the welterweights said that John Jones just checked back into rehab after seeing Rumble Johnson, what he did to Alexander Gustafsson. Because, I mean, Gustafsson has just a couple of, he's just as far as his reach goes, he's only a couple inches shorter than John Jones. And just one punch right there on the ear, then into the neck, down goes Gustafsson, and Johnson just trounced him. And I think I can actually see Johnson winning the belt.
Now, if I remember, because I mean, I remember you and I were going back and forth, texting and watching it. If I remember correctly, that fight was over pretty quick though.
First round.
I want to say it was probably about maybe a minute and a half into the first
round. What was it? It was 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes into the first round. There was an eye poke from Gustafsson.
Yeah,
and so then the ref separated him. Johnson had maybe a couple seconds, and he said he's good. Comes in right there on the ear and glaze off, went into the neck, and that was pretty much it at that point.
Now that
you got to give it. I mean, the referee gave Gustafsson plenty of time to get back into it, and then Johnson was just laying haymakers on him while he was turtling up on the ground. And
that's when. But I mean that Bader fight.
Bader won. Very, very close split decision.
Mm-hmm.
It was a wrestling match. Turned out to be a wrestling match like like I thought it would
I
be.
mean, he was defending those takedowns.
Yeah, he was doing a great job defending takedowns, and then he scored a huge takedown with probably about 30 seconds left in the fight.
Yeah, and I remember when you were commenting on that, and even Rogan had mentioned saying that probably was the decision maker.
Yep.
But I mean, I gave Bader the first and third round.
Yep, I did too.
You know, the second round definitely I felt went the other way. But that was an outstanding match. That was a good fight. But Bader's a beast.
Bader is. He's really tough. Local boy,
Mm-hmm.
which is one thing that's really cool about him. So, I think he went to school at ASU.
He did, yeah.
And he trains out of here too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
so what's on the card for? Because it's 6 o'clock tonight, right?
The main card starts at 8.
Okay.
Main card starts
Eastern
at 8.
or our time?
Our time.
Okay.
It's the return of both Anderson Silva and Nick Diaz. A lot of people are saying Silva by a landslide. I actually think this is going to be pretty close. I mean, Nick Diaz can fight, and
I don't like
Diaz.
I don't.
He is kind of an ass, but I personally don't like Silva.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't like how he plays around a little bit in the octagon, and that's why I was so happy when Weidman knocked him out. I mean, he just flat out knocked him out when Silva was goofing off.
But this is his first fight since coming off of that nasty
after that leg break.
Yeah,
in the second one.
Can I hope they break his other leg? Because I agree with you, he's a clown.
Yeah.
And since you make fun of me about wishing bad to Manziel, you can't be wishing hurt on anybody, Aaron.
It's fighting though; it's a little different. Somebody's got to get hurt in a boxing or MMA match.
Yeah. But I mean, Nick Diaz, I mean, he's a really good kickboxer too. I mean, and then he also has a black belt.
About Silva, man, who's the best all-around fighter,
probably of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, probably of all time. Diaz also has really good jiu-jitsu. At first, that was Achilles' heel for Silva, and who knows? I mean, ring rust for both of these fighters is going to come into play.
When was the last time Silva fought? It was against
a year and a half ago. Weidman,
right?
It was the second Weidman fight. Broke his leg, and then now he's finally making his return. Diaz has been out 2 years. So,
and what was Diaz out for? Just personal?
Just
stuff
personal.
Okay.
I mean, he wanted to come back and signed a 3-fight contract with the UFC, and he goes, "I'm holding out until you give me a good fight." And I'm like, "Well, if you want to move up a weight class, Anderson Silva is coming back." And he goes, "Consider it done." Silva, for whatever reason, I mean, he always trash talks before his fights. His one-liner, "Don't be scared, homie."
He really has it.
No, and he has actually just shut up. He was actually late arriving in Vegas too. He missed the open workouts for the media, and that was because I think of the weather in back east.
Yeah.
So,
you had also mentioned before we even got on this morning that some people have been missing some weight.
Yeah, the co-main event.
And we're not just talking a pound or two.
This fight was actually in question because Kelvin Gastelum, welterweight at 170, weighed in at 180 pounds, missed weight by 10 pounds. Whereas his opponent, Tyron Woodley, weighed in right at 170. Fighters hate it when their opponents miss weight because it's a sign of disrespect, because the fighter that makes weight, he had to go through all that shit. Excuse, pardon my French, I'm sorry, but had to go through all of that, sitting in the sauna, dehydrating himself to have his opponent not make weight. I mean, it just pisses him off. They get really angry.
You had mentioned that in the event that someone doesn't make weight, that has an effect on the purse, right?
Yep. Normally, in an event that a fighter doesn't make weight, he has to forfeit 20% of his earnings, and it goes to the other fighter.
Ooh.
What the UFC did, because this is a pay-per-view, and you can't really miss weight on a pay-per-view. They fined Gastelum 30% going to Woodley. So if Woodley wins by either stoppage, he's in for probably about a $75,000, $80,000 payday. Whereas Gastelum's looking at a $4,000. And Dana, this is not the first time. This is every fight, because Gastelum's a welterweight, and every fight except one, he's missed weight. So Dana White's probably going to say, you're going to have to move up a weight class.
If he wins, though, how much is he looking at with the deduction?
He's probably looking at about 15. So depending on the stoppage as far as, and, there's post-fight bonuses as far as, fight of the night and everything, which normally those never get fight of the nights, even though it's a co-main. But usually the main event gets fight of the night. So another guy on the prelims, Ian McCall, who has the best nickname in MMA, Uncle Creepy. Versus John Lineker is a flyweight battle. Is supposed to be a title eliminator for Demetrius Johnson, and Lineker missed weight by 5 pounds, and there was a lot of trash talking going on back and forth. Lineker was especially really laying it on McCall, and Lineker is the one that missed weight, and so. This is, the next championship bout's going to go to McCall because Dana White's not going to give him the title shot because he missed weight.
Right.
I don't think there's anybody out there right now that can beat Johnson.
No, there's no one.
Isn't his name like Mickey Mouse or something like that?
Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse. Thank you.
Yeah.
Same difference.
Lineker, Lineker's a good fighter. He really is. He's quick. He's strong. He's very powerful, but the weight has always been an issue for him. And I was actually pulling for him in this fight just because McCall is kind of an ass. He's being investigated for animal abuse right now. So, yeah.
Come on, Joel. Animal abuse is the worst thing, but come on, the swearing. It's a family show.
I know, right?
Settle down over there.
But no, I'm actually really looking forward to it. This is it's actually going to be, I think, pretty sneaky good card. Joe Lozon's fighting, and he's really good. He has elbows that are like knives. Can rip through someone's forehead with ease. And then Thiago Alves is returning from about a 3-year absence.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah, he hasn't fought in quite a while. I think his last match was against George St. Pierre, and he got messed up. Yeah. But, it should be a pretty decent card. Another one, the next fight, UFC 184, was supposed to be Weidman versus Belfort. Weidman hurt himself in training, and so that fight's been postponed. So now the headline for that is Ronda Rousey versus Kat Zingano, the #1 contender. So that was supposed to be the co-main, but so it got moved up to the main event. Now they got to find a fight to replace that one, and they made another chick fight as the co-main event. Holly Holm versus Raquel Pennington. Probably the winner of that gets the winner between Rousey and Zingano. Rousey's going to win that. Rousey starts off fast. Zingano starts out slow. So it's not a good matchup.
I like girl that just takes off fast.
Like if they just jump into it, we'll just
first one there wins.
I think because of all these fighters that are getting injured, this was supposed to be the year for UFC. It was the big fights. Anderson Silva's coming back. Weidman's supposed to be fighting 3 times. It's supposed to be a hell of a year for UFC, but with all these fighters getting injured, I think Dana White's going to have to come up with some sort of rule as far as the amount of time that they can spend in a gym on a certain day just to prevent injuries, because these guys are losing a lot of matches because of this. The next fight night on February 14th doesn't look like it may happen because 2 main events got canceled now.
Really?
Because of injuries. Yeah. So it was supposed to be Brown versus Hendricks, but someone got injured for the UFC 185, and so they moved that matchup to that card to be the co-main event. And then it was Thompson versus Thatch, but Thompson hurt himself in training. Exact same injury as Weidman. So they're without a main event right now. And Dana White's pretty pissed off because now all these fans are refunding their tickets. The UFC has a refund policy. So the fans are refunding their tickets, and it doesn't even look like it's going to be a go here.
That's a lot of money lost right
there.
No,
yeah, absolutely. Because they spend millions and millions marketing these fights. Even if the main event's not something you're interested in, they make the marketing really good to watch it.
What if they bring like Rampage?
He is coming back.
I mean,
he
what
did
if
sign
at the last minute they say that Rampage is on the main card.
Yeah,
That'll fill some seats.
Rampage. He's actually is fighting here pretty soon for UFC.
Mhm.
They did re-sign him. I think it's 185, UFC 185. I'm lying. It's a fight night, but he is fighting.
I want to see it.
Yeah, he is fighting a big name. Give me 1 second. Let me find it here. I don't remember, but it is someone who is a pretty big name in there. And Rampage is coming back to the UFC, and he hated Bellator. He hated the way that the fighters were treated there. And
Yeah, our own LaRue Burley, he said something along those same lines. He thinks he can do a lot better at UFC.
Yep.
So he's going into the kind of like the minor leagues of UFC.
Yeah.
Start fighting, work his way up. So, but yeah, I think Jackson will. I don't know if he'll ever get back to the way he was,
right,
but he still draws.
Yeah, he's still a big name.
Now, what about the Aldo
McGregor?
Yeah, has that been finalized yet?
It hasn't been finalized yet. They're looking at a May for that fight.
I can't wait
May
for
or
that
June.
fight. I think Aldo's gonna kick his ass.
Yeah,
his butt
yeah,
talks.
I absolutely agree with you.
Backside.
I mean, McGregor has
when am I
really
getting a dump button over here.
McGregor has McGregor has very skinny legs, and this is where I think it's going to affect him. He has very skinny legs, and Aldo's leg kicks are like a cinder block on your legs. So,
how big are his hands?
See, I knew he was going to say something about his damn hands. Actually, this is the event. In football, it really doesn't matter. In UFC, it matters.
Yeah.
Tiny hands, weak
matter.
legs.
If you throw cinder blocks, you have tiny hands if you throw cinder blocks.
How can you throw a cinder block if you have tiny hands?
Like me, I got tiny hands, but I throw cinder blocks.
Yeah, I'd like to get that on film. Just because you drop it 2 feet doesn't mean you're throwing it, Aaron. Okay.
I meant I punched like a cinder block.
Yeah, that sounds
a lot
better.
Of power.
Yeah.
And then I think the pay-per-view right after that is Rumble versus Jones.
Nice.
So this summer is actually going to be really, really huge. In April, there's Dillashaw versus Barral Part 2 as well. It looks like Rampage Jackson is fighting Fabio Maldonado.
Fabio.
He's ranked number 14 in the light heavyweight. But
Well, let's. We do have to come up on a break right now. What's your prediction on this on the Silva fight? What do you got on that one?
I really, really want Diaz to win, but I think it's going to be Silva.
Yeah, I'm taking Silva.
Yeah, I would say Silva too. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick pit stop. We will come back. You are listening to JD's Rockin' Sports.
Would you like to own a thriving business and help employ local veterans? The Vetraplex Handyman Construction and Landscape business is the opportunity you've been waiting for. The Vetraplex is your gateway to an affordable startup business with 0% financing for qualifying owners. By owning a Vetraplex franchise, you will be hiring veterans, providing them both income and opportunity, while at the same time providing your customers a way to say, thank you for your service to our nation's veterans. For more information, visit vetraplex.org. Again, that's vetraplex.org or call 928-284-2022.
Breaker 19. How about that bandit? You got some ears on, son?
Have you ever wanted to be a truck driver? If so, pay attention. If not, pay attention anyway. Southwest Truck Driver Training offers everything you need to get started. You can get hired before you begin training. They've got GI Bill approved training facilities, day, night, or weekend programs to fit your busy schedule. If you have any questions, no sweat. They've got veteran supportive campuses with veterans on staff to serve you. And on top of that, they have lifetime job placement assistance. Put the pedal to the metal. Call Southwest Truck Driver Training today.
Everyone's going to need an attorney at some point in their life. I'm no different. Hey everyone, it's James from Vets On. Whether it was my last will and testament before deployment or my ongoing custody battle for my children during my divorce, I needed help, so I lawyered up. If you need help, I urge you to contact Capstrom Law Firm. Capstrom Law Firm in Springfield, Missouri services clients throughout the state in criminal law, personal injury, and family law. With over 13 years practicing law, Tom Capstrom understands both law and court procedures and how stressful they can be. Let Tom Capstrom Law Firm and his dedicated staff take the stress and worry out of a difficult situation by calling him today. We feel so strong about the work that Tom and his staff are doing that he'll be a monthly guest on the show. Tom is a veteran and a listener, for God's sake, so you know the guy is solid and will fight for you. Give Tom a call today by calling 417-864-0552 or email Tom at capstromlaw.com. And don't forget to tell him that Vets On sent you.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
If you or someone you know is looking for a new job or career, you need to visit the pros. National Career Fairs at ncfairs.com. National Career Fairs hosts over 300 career fairs a year nationwide. The events are free and give you the perfect chance to meet some of the top employers in your area face-to-face. To find the nearest career fair to you, visit ncfairs.com. Again, that's ncfairs.com. What are you waiting for?
I've been following my dreams, trying to find the scene where you believe.
And we are back. We are at JD's Rockin' Sports. We have JD in the house. I'm not sure for how much longer, but he is still with us. JD, it's always nice to have you back.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And then we kind of talking a little bit about some diamond notes. Now, Joel, as during break, you were mentioning that it looks like the MLB has released we said the top 100 prospects.
Top 100, yeah.
Top 100. Now, you said that it looks like, or from what the report came out, looks like Minnesota has the best farm program.
Yep, they named Minnesota. Now this is MLB.com, and it's different publications have different lists, but MLB.com listed the Twins as the #1 farm system. They have 6 players in the top 100, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
The Cubs also have 6 players in the top 100, but the way that they score them is by not by position, but by where the 6 are at. So, like they have the #1 prospect. Byron Buxton was listed as the #1 prospect, and then they have more in the 10s and 20s in there. They have the 11th ranked prospect. Chris Bryant of the Cubs was #2, and sounds like he's going to be making the club.
What position is he at?
Third base.
Third base.
Yep. There's a problem in Chicago. They have way too many infielders right now. They need to start pulling off trades for Starlin Castro, maybe getting rid of him. That's probably their best bet because he's more established. They don't want to give up Javier Baez or anybody because he's still young and cost controlled for the next 7 years. So Castro still has about 3 years left on his contract. It's probably very appealing to people who need a shortstop.
Well, I'm glad to hear at least like with that for the Cubs that they got some people in the pipes. But I thought it was last year you had written an article where you're mentioning that I think it was one of your articles. You said that that Minnesota had some people in the farm program upcoming.
Yeah.
So I mean you're right on with that if they're releasing this and stating that they've got the best farm program. And I mean you and I both know how important it is to have you're only really as good as your farm program is. Yeah. Otherwise, then you have to rely on free agents and trades and stuff like that.
But even on the trades, you can't really deal from a position of strength if you don't have a big farm program.
To fill it, yeah.
Because I mean, if you're looking at, let's say, if you're in a contender to maybe seeing about what else do you need to get you over that hump, come the trade deadline, you're going to be paying a lot more than what you would be right now.
Yeah.
So the way that these teams that are rebuilding, they want prospects. They want prospects that they want to save some money and get rid of these big names. And if you don't have a farm system, you can't deal from that. Yeah. Like the Rangers are going to be struggling. The Yankees are going to be struggling.
Well, the Yankees the Yankees have lived off of free agents and trades.
Yep.
For basically, I'd say probably the last 20 years. That's what they've been doing.
Absolutely.
What happened to trading a player for cash? Because the Yankees got enough cash. Can't they just buy prospects?
Yeah,
you can.
But most teams aren't willing to give up a big bat for nothing.
Yep.
They'd be willing to give it up for a few $1 million.
No.
No, I mean, if it's a big
the
bat,
old Steinbrenner could pull that off.
Yeah.
Look, I'd rather they go around and buy everybody's top prospect than sign some of these crap free agent deals they've done.
well, you also got to take a look at what these teams got to take a look at what the Yankees are trying to do. If they go ahead and they buy a team's number one prospect, which will never happen really because you're looking at years of cost control.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they want to go buy another team's top prospect. That other team's like, no, we're not going to give that to you.
Yeah.
They're probably hang up on them because they're seeing what they're trying to do.
Not too many teams out there that are saying, you know what, let's see what we can do this year to help the Yankees.
Yeah, which is why there's not very many.
It's all about the money.
No, it's not.
Which sometimes you'll see kind of the lack of trades if a team that has a really good pitcher that's a team that could also be in contention, they won't deal to another contender because there's chance that these two teams could be facing each other come October. So, which is probably why you're not seeing guys like Jordan Zimmerman or Steven Strasburg being dealt, is because these teams that are looking for something else to push them over the hump, they want
those
these guys because they're taking on the salary. So they want them in order to get them over. And the Nationals like, no, that's why the Nationals won't trade to St. Louis, for example, because St. Louis does need a pitcher to push him over the hump because those two teams could meet in October when the game's really on the line.
Yeah, well, just from a Dodgers fan point of view, I wouldn't want to be giving the Cardinals anyone because we're gonna see in the postseason in the NLCS or the NLDS, one of those two.
Yeah,
and well, not like you guys would need any help because you guys have no problem eliminating us, but.
Right. Yeah. Truth.
I've got all the confidence that my Dodgers will win the division. It's just like, oh, and you guys draw the Cardinals first. Like, that was a nice season.
Yeah.
Maybe next year maybe next year the Cards won't make it. We'll have a better chance of getting past the NLCS. Yeah. But
that Central is going to be a good division.
Mm-hmm.
That Central is going to be a really good division. You still have the Pirates who are up there now. The Cubs made some moves.
Well, again, we already know because it's in the movies and nothing in Hollywood lies. The Cubs are going to win the World Series this year. They have to.
The future.
Yeah. It's already happened. So we're just waiting to catch up to it.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a lot of stuff going on this year that I'm looking forward to. And even though I don't want the Padres to do anything in the NL West, I'm really excited to see how that team is going to deal with all their new acquisitions. Even the White Sox, they got a bunch of people. The Cubs got a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what's going to be happening this season.
Yeah, the Padres may. I think that they're probably going to end up with James Shields this year. They've seemed to be the one that's been closely linked to him several times.
Well, it's easy for them to say, we're going to be giving you tools. Look what we've already gone out and done and acquired this year.
Well, Shields wants a 4-year deal, and that's what I read. He wants a 4-year deal, but he's 32. Players that once they get over their 33, 34 season, they're starting on the decline. And no team wants to pay $15 million a year for 4 years for someone that's going to be
starter. That may not even get 30 games out.
He may have one good year, for this contract because of it. So you're probably going to be looking at 2, maybe even 3, maybe 3 years, but I think most likely it'll probably be 2 years that someone's going to sign him, and Shields will have no option to take it because his demands were so high that no team wanted to bite.
Well, that's one of the things I always look forward to, with baseball, is trying to see which player is going to be coming up that might be in maybe breaking a record or getting close to records. Now, Joe, we kind of mentioned it during the break and then before the show. There's 3 records that I've already kind of mentioned that I don't ever see being broken in baseball. The one I just wrote the article on was Lou Gehrig's hit streak.
Mm-hmm.
And my 3 is Gehrig, his hit streak, Nolan Ryan's 7 no-hitters, and Cal Ripken's streak. Those are 3 that I don't think are going to be broken. Mainly Ripken, mainly just because you're not seeing people stay healthy consistently anymore.
You mean DiMaggio's hit streak?
I'm sorry. DiMaggio's hit streak. But I think right now, the record for most consistent games played was I think someone got to I think someone got to 1,000, and then it was
Miguel Tejada.
Yeah, and then it was done.
Yeah, he got hurt.
So, but everyone seems to be getting hurt or is spending time on the DL.
Yeah, Miguel Tejada also had a case of the suckitude. One record I don't see being broken is there's 2 on the pitching side. Is Cy Young's winning record for the most winning season of 31 or 32.
Yeah, 32 wins in a season.
Yeah. I mean, that's something where a pitcher is going to have to win all but one of his starts now.
Yeah.
Because that was the days of the 4-man rotation that Cy Young won all those games.
Yeah.
Now there's 5-man, sometimes 6-man. So, that record is never going to be touched. I also think Bob Gibson's ERA record won't be touched. 1.12. I mean, Kershaw put up a 1.7, and that was the lowest we've seen in 15, 20 years. So,
and when you just don't even nowadays see, especially with it almost being like a hitting league now.
Yeah,
you don't see many pitchers even get below 2.
Right. I mean, maybe it'll be broken later on down the road, because I do think that we're coming up on another dead ball era because pitchers are so much more advanced than the hitters. But the one of the big things is that hitters can make adjustments. I mean, you have these players that they just own the pitcher. Mm-hmm. That's just the way it is. It's weird. Sometimes you see the ball off another. When Bob Gibson owned everybody in the league that year, 1.12,
and that was the year he won the MVP and the Cy Young.
Yep. That's why I think both of those records are probably going to stand, and I don't think they're ever going to be broken. I think Pete Rose's career hitting record won't be broken either. So it takes a long time to get up to 3,000 hits. It takes even longer to get to 4,000.
Well, and actually, I actually mentioned Pete Rose in the article about DiMaggio's hit streak, because he's the closest one that we've seen.
Yeah,
at 45.
Yep.
And one of the things that I thought was kind of interesting in when I was writing the article was some of the things that they were alluding to. It's got with the hit streak. It's got nothing to do with the size of the park, because you just need need a single. But they're saying that during the and I have a couple of charts that are in the article that show this, that when you look at like the top the top of the lists with regards to those who have had 30 games or more, the majority of the people that are in the top 10 played well before DiMaggio.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you can't break a record if someone played that didn't play before you. That's how the record was set. But I'm talking that played 20, 30 years well before him. And like
back in the Walter Johnson, Cy Young era.
Yeah.
Right.
And but what they're mentioning is that most of the pitchers during that time threw, for the most part, fastballs.
Yep.
Or at least straight trajectory pitches.
Yep.
So when you're seeing more fastballs, it's easier for you to get those hits. Nowadays, you're seeing pitchers that have, and what most people only had like a fastball, a curveball. Now you've got pitchers that have potentially 6 pitches,
sliders, a couple different
way more
fastballs,
breaking, way more pitching, way more breaking stuff, and
they throw harder.
That too. And I alluded to the fact that we're seeing the rise of pitchers that also back then they pitched the entire game. You had 9 innings to zero in on a pitcher.
Yep.
Now you're seeing like the arrival of the specialty pitchers.
Yep.
Maybe I'm going to bring you in just to face one batter and then you're out.
Yep.
So that the fact that they're throwing more junk nowadays and they're throwing harder.
Yeah.
It's a batter has less chance to zone in on a pitcher.
Yeah. I mean, there's, if a starting pitcher goes 6 innings now, it's considered a quality
start. Yeah. 6 innings.
Yeah. I mean, back in the day when it was, 9 innings, shoot, some guys even played 10 innings, it was, and how they would not blow out their arm was beyond me back then. I mean,
yeah. I'm sure they
throw as hard.
Yeah. They threw.
It's still like the motion.
Yeah. A lot of sidearm.
Yeah.
And a lot of the crazy wind up pitching.
I love that wind up, man.
Yeah. It's pretty sweet.
I mean, when it would literally, you have like 5 seconds before, it almost seemed like, because we'll look at the Japanese pitchers, how it's all about balance. So it takes them like 10 seconds to throw a ball, but you don't see like those elaborate windups anymore. I mean, Kershaw has he does that long pause,
right?
Which he just added like 3 seasons ago. But I can't say it's not working.
Yeah,
for him.
I mean, and then you have players like turning their back on the batter before they release the pitch.
Or no eye contact. No eye contact with the batter at all sometimes.
Yep.
But no, and I do agree with you actually on that one. That's Cy Young. That one I don't see that ever probably being broken, just because you literally would have to win every single start.
Yep. I mean, guys make 31 starts a season, let alone have to win all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You have 1 loss, you have no chance of
that's like the very first game of the season. You're getting the ball on opening day and you lose. You're like, well, there goes Cy Young's record.
Plus, you have to focus. You have to factor in injury too, and tired arm and everything. And it just, that record is not ever going to be touched again ever.
No, back in the day, I mean, Ty Cobb had the tool of just having batters fear him as well, because I mean they didn't have helmets and stuff like that. I mean, if somebody had gotten a hit from him before, he would throw at their head the very next time.
Yep.
So I mean, I can definitely see how people kind of had a hard time hitting off of him. You know?
Yeah.
He was a very nice man.
Probably one of the most hated guys in baseball.
Yeah.
Seems like a nice guy.
Well, you know, there's only been, and when I was looking at the list, and I got it from Baseball Almanac, there's only been 3 players to actually have 2 trips with over 30+ hitting streaks. Ty Cobb twice in 1911 and 1917. George Sisler, 1922 and 1925, and then Sam Rice in 1924 and 1930. Again, people that played before DiMaggio.
Right.
You know, and during, I mean, it just seemed like in the early stages or the beginnings of baseball that you see these ridiculous hit streaks. And then when you look at the list on the article, you're seeing people in the 1800s.
Yep. I mean, and when players are at 20-game hitting streaks now, I mean, people start making a big deal. Can this guy break DiMaggio's record? You still have 30 games more to go. Good luck with that.
Yeah, and actually, that's I made a reference to that. I was like, it seems like you're only going to get some attention if you get to 30. But it's like even if you get there, you still have almost halfway to go.
Yep.
Like how hard it was for you to get to 30. It's like, we'll do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
and especially in games where, let's say they get a day off and they are brought in to pinch hit, and you know, if you don't get a hit in a pinch hit appearance, your streak is done.
Yeah. You know,
it's really hard to come off the bench cold. And try to get a hit against, you know, it more likely to be a bullpen pitcher that's throwing in 100 miles an hour. So, you know, it makes it even more difficult.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine being forced to go up against Aroldis Chapman? I wouldn't even. No. I would probably swing at the vapor.
Yeah,
because the balls are going to be in the guy's mitt by the time I see it.
As soon as you start seeing the guy winding up, you better start your swing.
Start swinging. Yeah, and just close your eyes because you're not going to see it anyway.
Right. 103 miles an hour. It takes about. I think I read a sports science article on that. It takes about 9 nanoseconds in order to recognize where it's going to be.
Where you recognize it's going to be. Even at that point, if it's going to your head, it's too late.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's. But sometimes reflexes are a different thing where you can try to get out of the way. But I mean, that's just incredible. I mean, and for some reason he was never a starting pitcher. He didn't want to be. But I mean, 103 miles an hour. It's that ball's right on you as soon as he's releasing it. And he's so tall too that it looks like he's, you know, throwing about 50 feet in front of you instead of 60 feet, and it makes it
long arms
more difficult.
Long arms. I've always told my friends, I'm like, you guys think I'm crazy, but having longer arms, if I don't have to throw it, just an extra 6 inches because my arm reaches, that's 6 inches more.
And it's also why Randy Johnson was so effective, and he's a Hall of Famer right now, is because of his height.
And he's the only person that was actually able to. He saw that bird coming well before he timed that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's like, damn bird.
So one of the best highlights you'll see in baseball.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
And I love. I mean, I saw it just the other day. I was looking at it, and I love the batter's reaction. It was he was just like, "What the hell did the ball explode?
How does this count?
What the hell happened?
Is this a ball, a strike? I guess."
But back to your prospects though. So if the Twins are supposed to have like the best with the best prospects, so then as long as they don't trade them, then we should probably be seeing some, again, like back to your article, probably within the next 3 or 4 seasons that the Twins should be making some noise.
Yeah, they should be in the playoffs. They already got a good amount of starters that are up there. Like Oswaldo Arcia, their first baseman, can absolutely crush the ball. He's going to be a stud. This Byron Buxton kid, who's the number 1, that guy's supposed to be a heck of a leadoff hitter. To get on base, steal. quite a bit. And then you have more power hitters behind them. And you even factor in like some of their pitching that they got too. It's just, I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, this is what happens when you have so many losing seasons in a row. Your farm system just gets racked up. I mean, Houston's number 2.
Now, maybe explain that real quick. When you have this many losing seasons, this is how your farm program builds up.
Yeah.
What's kind of the nature of that?
Well, the lowest record in the league gets number 1 pick, very similar to the NFL. And the top 15 picks are locked, meaning that you can't lose them no matter what.
Okay.
So like if let's say Houston were to sign a huge free agent, let's say they were to sign Max Scherzer instead. Okay. Normally that whoever signs him has to forfeit their first pick to the team. You know, it depends on they rank it via type A, type B free agent. Type A, you're giving up your first round pick. And so it comes into a sandwich round and it kind of gets a little complicated after there. But if you're in the top 15 for your draft picks, you don't have to. You basically are giving up none. Instead, that team's just given an extra pick, just not from anybody, but just an extra one for a little bit later on. So, but when it's establishing, when you're losing so many times in a row, most of the time you are rebuilding. So you're probably not going to sign that big name free agent, right. But you are looking at who's coming up. You know, are you drafting well? And then this is just kind of the fruits of the labor where you have just so many people that are going to be studs. I mean, they could deal them, but I don't think it's going to happen with the Twins. Usually the Twins don't make a whole lot of noise.
Yeah.
Hardly at all. But they're loaded. They are absolutely loaded. Houston's number 3, Chicago's number 2.
They said that were the D-backs 15 or they have a number 15 prospect?
They have the number 15 prospect in Archie Bradley.
And what position is he?
He's a starting pitcher.
He's a starting.
Yeah.
Well, good. And
he called him up late last year.
No, he was never up. Gibson, as well as the GM, said that they didn't want to bring him into that environment where they were losing a lot. Plus, there's injury history and everything. His elbow was hurting. But he has a very light fastball. Out of a rank of 80, they rank it at number 70. Same thing with the curve, which is 60. I mean, the guy he's going to be a beast. He's probably going to be up this year.
Oh, really?
More than likely. He's not going to start the year, but he will be up more than likely. And then the Red Sox have a few players. I mean, they're in the top 15 or in the top 20. You know, they're going to be studs. I mean, they got some pitching and some hitting. The Padres are already making moves, and yet they still got a loaded farm system. They traded a lot of their prospects in order to get Will Myers, in order to get Justin Upton and Matt Kemp.
Yeah.
But they're still the number 5 ranked team with all the prospects. I mean, that's how loaded that they are from losing a lot. And they could actually become a dynasty.
Well,
see what I
we
did
are
there?
so close to spring training. I can't wait.
Yeah, me neither.
We are coming up on a break. We're going to take a quick, take a little mound visit, a little break to the mound, and we're going to come back. We would talk about the NBA All Stars just announced. So stick with us. You're listening to JD's Rockin' Sports.
Everyone's going to need an attorney at some point in their life. I'm no different. Hey everyone, it's James from Vets On. Whether it was my last will and testament before deployment or my ongoing custody battle for my children during my divorce, I needed help, so I lawyered up. If you need help, I urge you to contact Capstrom Law Firm. Capstrom Law Firm in Springfield, Missouri services clients throughout the state in criminal law, personal injury, and family law. With over 13 years practicing law, Tom Capstrom understands both law and court procedures and how stressful they can be. Let Tom Capstrom Law Firm and his dedicated staff take the stress and worry out of a difficult situation by calling him today. We feel so strong about the work that Tom and his staff are doing that he'll be a monthly guest on the show. Tom is a veteran and a listener, for God's sake, so you know the guy is solid and will fight for you. Give Tom a call today by calling